You're not going to need any special equipment, any special techniques, or any special ingredients. There you go, guys. We're done. Hi everyone, and welcome to my new beginner series for Chinese cooking. If you're new and nervous in the kitchen, or you've not cooked Chinese food before, you're cooking on a budget, you're a single parent, or you're a student, you've come to the right place. I'm going to teach you how to cook easy, simple, fast and affordable dishes. You're not going to need any special equipment, any special techniques, or any special ingredients. All you're going to need is a pan, a knife, a spatula and a can-do attitude. And today's recipe is a really simple, delicious chicken chow mein. Let's get cooking. Now I know that chicken chow mein, or chow meins in general, can be one of the scariest dishes to cook. Why? Because if you get it wrong, it sticks, it burns, it turns into this horrible charred gloopy mess. How do I know? Well, because I've done it many times before, and people tell me in the comments that they find this one quite challenging. However, I've got a couple of tricks that I've learned over the years that will help you make it perfectly every time with no danger of chow mein sticking and burning. So for this recipe, you are going to need some egg noodles. I'm using fresh, which you can find usually in the vegetable aisle of any big supermarket. You will also need chicken. I'm using chicken thighs because basically chicken thighs are the best meat. What you can do is use the leftovers from a roast chicken dinner, because when you have a carcass left, you can just rip apart the little bits of meat and chuck that in a chicken chow mein, and it's fantastic. I'm going to pause here because I'm going to tell you that those two ingredients are the only essential ingredients you need for a chicken chow mein. Everything else is optional. So therefore it makes it a great dish for using leftovers in your fridge. Having said all that, I'm going to be adding some bean sprouts to my chicken chow mein to give us that extra little bit of crunch and the freshness that bean sprouts have. Gonna add a couple of carrots for a bit of colour and again that extra bit of crunch. And some onion because we've always got some onion, and it'll add a little bit of that onion aromatic to the dish. This recipe is for 2 people. 2 chicken thighs is plenty for 2 people. Trust me on this. I'm going to keep the skin on. What I'm going to do is sprinkle some salt and pepper onto the chicken thighs, and to put them in a medium oven, gas mark 6, for half an hour. So whilst the chicken is roasting in the oven, we can prepare the rest of our ingredients. So we're going to begin by slicing our carrots. We're going to slice them really thin. If you cut them too thick, they won't have time to cook, and it'll be like biting on poker chips. So we're looking for pieces this thin. It really helps if you have a sharp knife. It doesn't have to be a fancy knife, it just has to be a sharp knife. And don't think you have to be Gordon Ramsay. Take your time. Accuracy is more important than speed, especially when fingers are involved. So with the onion, what we're going to do is we're going to cut it in half like that. Get it so the shape of these arches are on the outside. And then we're just going to cut through them. Quite finely again, but not as thin as the carrots because onions cook quicker. Just like that. What we're looking for is strips of onion like that. They're all a similar size and thickness, so they should cook quite evenly. Right guys, now we come to the most important component of our chicken chow mein, our noodles. Now what I've done here is just put them on a sheet of kitchen towel. The reason why I'm doing this is because egg noodles, fresh egg noodles, are a little bit damp. They've already been cooked at the factory and therefore they're still retaining a lot of moisture. Now when it comes to a stir frying, that moisture is what's going to cause them to stick, clump and burn. My trick here is to put them on some kitchen towel and just get rid of as much of that moisture as possible. Get it wicked away onto the kitchen towel so it's not in the noodles. This is especially important if you're using dry egg noodles, because when you've boiled them to rehydrate them, they're even wetter than they are here. My second big tip here is to add about a tablespoon of cooking oil to the noodles before you cook them, and then use your hand and just gently massage them in. This will coat the noodles with a thin layer of oil, which means that when the noodles hit the hot pan, everything is covered in a really thin layer of oil, which means it will fry rather than if you have a bare noodle with a little bit of moisture in it sticking to your pan. It really helps. And it stops you from putting more oil in the pan originally to stop this happening in the first place, if that makes sense. This is a much more efficient way of doing it. So the only other ingredients you're going to need are 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce and half a teaspoon of sugar. Going to mix that together. Now, as with all things in Chinese cooking, the preparation is key. That's why we're doing this now. And then you're not scrabbling around when you're in the heat of battle, stir frying, scrabbling for soy sauce, sugar and what have you. And that sugar will just add a tiny hint of sweetness. And finally, a pinch of salt and white pepper, which I've pre-mixed in here, again, so you can just toss it in when the time comes. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time I introduced you to the Wok Clock. This is gonna be a game changer for when you're cooking Chinese food. The concept is actually one of those genius yet simple ideas. So what we're gonna do is put all our ingredients apart from the chicken on this plate, arranged like a clock. So we're gonna start at 12 o'clock, which is your first ingredient into the pan, then 1 o'clock, etc., etc. And it goes round so you know what order the ingredients go in. The reason why we do this at all is because each ingredient on our Wok Clock takes a different amount of time to cook. What we're trying to do is make it come together so everything cooks at its peak at the same time. So therefore, things like the carrots, which take longer to cook, will go in first. And then we work backwards in that order until we have the shortest amount of time ingredient that goes in last. So by the time the third thing's cooked fully, the last thing in the pan will have cooked as well. Perfect. In this case, the chicken will actually go in last because it's already been cooked. If you're using the leftovers from a roast chicken, all you're doing is warming it up. What we tend to do when we're cooking with raw meat is actually cook the meat separately anyway, because we're going to try to sear and brown off that meat before we mix it in with the rest of the ingredients. What we don't want to do is put the meat in with the vegetables and steam the meat rather than fry it, if that makes sense. If you watch the video I made called Beginner's Guide to Stir Frying, this will explain everything. I'll leave the link in the description below. Go check it out when you finish this video. So on my Wok Clock, I'm going to start at 12 o'clock with the carrots, which take the longest. Then we're going to move clockwise to the onions, then through to the noodles, and then finally with the bean sprouts. Simple, really, really simple. But if you arrange all your ingredients like this before you start, it's going to make life so much easier for you. So here are our roasted chicken thighs. What we're going to do is strip the meat off it. So I'm going to use 2 forks to do that with. Now I'm going to keep the skin on. If you don't like skin, now's the time to peel it off, take it off, and then you can do whatever you need to do with that. But I like skin. And all the flavour in the chicken is in the skin, so I really want that. I'm just going to go in there and we're just going to rip the meat off like this, strip it off the bone. There you go. And you can see there's quite a lot of meat, really. Easily enough for 2 people. Okay, and when you're doing chicken chow mein, you don't want it kind of, well, maybe you do, I don't know. I mean, you can, if you want to, you can put more chicken in if you want, but I feel that the kind of proportion of meat to vegetables, this is about right. Now, if you watch a lot of content about stir frying, and especially with Chinese chefs, what you'll often see is these massive licks of flame and really high temperatures, and it gets all a bit spectacular and smoky. Now, in an ideal world, yes, that is the absolute pinnacle of Chinese cooking. But as I've said before, we can't all achieve that, but it should never stop us from doing it, because we can get 90 to 95% of the way there just by using the equipment we've got. And by that I mean normal pans, normal domestic ranges with electric or induction or gas stoves. They're all good. You do not need special equipment. You do not need professional equipment to get good results. What we need to do is implement a few simple techniques, especially if you're cooking on electric or induction. You see, with a domestic normal gas hob, the heat is instant, you turn it up and down, it's very controllable, that's great. With electric, it's slightly different because it all relies on actual contact, actual physical contact between the base of the pan and your heating element, whether that be normal electric or induction. So what we can't be doing is actually doing those flicks that you see when people do stir frying. When you're cooking with electric or induction, you've got to keep the pan in contact with the element. So instead of doing all that fancy flicking, what we're going to do is stir and fry, which is pretty appropriate really, because it's called stir fry. A couple more things. First of all, what you need to do is get the pan up to temperature before any ingredients hit it, because we need to retain that heat. So we get the pan as hot as we can, and then as the ingredients hit it, it is going to cool it slightly. But if you start from a high base, if you start from a high temperature, that reduction in temperature is not quite so important. But what we don't want to do is overload or overcrowd our pan. If we put too many ingredients in at any one time, that will drastically reduce the temperature of the pan, and therefore we're not actually going to be frying anything, we're going to be steaming. If you feel you're going to do that, cook in 2 batches. Flame on, or electricity on, whatever you've got. Get that hot, get that nice and hot. Okay, we want about 1 tablespoon of oil. When we're cooking, we use something like a seed oil or a vegetable oil, or better still, a peanut oil, avocado oil, that sort of thing. The reason why we don't use olive oil or sesame oil is because they have what you call a low smoking point, which means they burn at lower temperatures, and that's not good, obviously. We have our Wok Clock at the ready. We have our soy sauce at the ready. We have our meat at the ready. We have our salt and pepper at the ready. In we go with the top of our Wok Clock, our carrots. That sizzling sound is what we want. Okay, try to spread everything out evenly so it cooks evenly. The dial on your hob will never go down. It just stays on hot, 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 the hottest setting. Next, we're ready for the onions. You could also put garlic in here if you wanted, if you're feeling a bit fancy. Totally up to you. Again, the beauty of this kind of stir fry technique is you can use pretty much any vegetables you want. Peppers, green beans, broccoli. I find long stem broccoli to be particularly good. Right, now we can add our noodles. Oh, bit of carrot escaped from manna. Go in. So this is where we got to focus, make sure we keep things moving. As you can see, not sticking. Right, ready, in with the bean sprouts. And the whole thing takes less than 5 minutes. In with our chicken. Okay, and I think this is pretty much full capacity. I wouldn't want to put any more ingredients in. It's nicely frying, it's not steaming or anything like that. It's doing really well. Now it's time for our soy sauce. Give it a bit of a mix because it's got that sugar in it. Just try to spread it around evenly. Okay, wow. Soy sauce smells amazing when it hits the pan. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more, actually. Maybe 2 tablespoons is what I needed. And finally, a good pinch of salt and white pepper. This is mixed in already, so it's all there. Okay. There you go, guys. We're done. Fast, easy, and most importantly, delicious. And you know what? This probably cost about £2.50 to make. And if you use dry noodles, it'd be even cheaper. Just takes a little bit more work. And of course you can substitute most of these ingredients for whatever you've got in the fridge or whatever you actually fancy. And you can dress it up how you like. You can put a little drizzle of sesame oil on it. You can put a little bit of chopped spring onions on it for that extra crunch and that greenery. The world is literally your oyster. Let's try. Bit of chicken, bit of noodles, bit of carrot, the perfect mouthful. Let's see. That is so good. For something that took a total of 20 minutes to do, so I can do it. I've shown you how to do it. Go do it. Honestly, do it. Do it. I've just shown you how easy it is. There's no excuses. This is why I'm here. I want to help you guys. I'm going to release one of these videos every week from now on. And before you know it, you're going to be an absolute expert. So with that in mind, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Turn those notifications on so you know when I've released another one of these videos. And I want to see your progress. Go find me on Instagram. Go find me on Facebook. Chow with Lau. I'm very, very easily searched. Put pictures, give me some comments, let me know how it went for you. If you've got any questions, I am very happy to answer them. Leave them either in the comments below here or go over to Facebook and Instagram and ask me there. I will reply. So hopefully this has started you on your little voyage of culinary discovery. Bon voyage, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye-bye.